This is very important. If you're considering buying the new Dell XPS 17, please watch this video first. Hi, I'm Justin from Random Tech Videos, and before I get into this video, please consider subscribing to this channel so you don't miss future Random Tech videos, because I do videos about PC builds, repairs, reviews, all sorts of stuff. And also please consider giving this video a like if you find it helpful. But with that out of the way, let's just get right into the video now. Recently I had a Dell XPS 17 9700, the 2020 model. I had like one of the highest configs, and it had a fatal flaw. The battery would drain when the CPU and GPU were both under sustained full load. This made the battery wear out really quickly and was overall not acceptable for a $3,000 laptop. Dell wanted to fix this issue by replacing the motherboard to make it so that the CPU and GPU could not draw extra power from the battery. What this would do effectively is cripple the CPU's performance when the GPU was under full load. Let me state that again. Dell told me in an email, you need this motherboard replacement that will fix this issue. They did not state that you would lose power, but being a tech nerd, I did my research and I determined that if the CPU and GPU currently need 165 watts and then you limit it to 130 watts, it's not that hard to figure out that you'll be losing power. Which, by the way, I believe that was illegal too, and I think Dell should be sued for that. Because people who don't know as much about tech may have just gotten the motherboard replacement and wondered why their computer was suddenly slower and then never found out. And then we were able to contact Dell Corporate, who helped us return it 9 months late or whatever it was, but that's a different story. Now we're talking about the Dell XPS 17 2021, because yeah, it's out. When I heard that the 2021 model was out, I was like, please Dell, please have fixed this by now and include a 180 watt power brick. But no. Dell still includes with the current model a 130 watt power brick, and they now offer even more powerful hardware, and it does not feature battery boost. You can see where I'm going. You just won't have that power from the start. So it's technically not illegal, but it should be, and I'm about to get into why. The Dell XPS 17 2021 can be configured up to an Intel Core i9 11980HK. That's a mouthful to say, by the way. Thank you, Intel, for that naming scheme. But anyway, that can draw up to 65 watt TDP, and it can go over that with boost. So we're just going to be talking about the TDP right now. We're not even going to be talking about boost. And then the GPU, the RTX 3060 configured at 70 watts. When you add those two together, you are already at 135 watts. And the CPU and GPU can use 135 watts, or they should be able to. The power supply only supplies 130 watts, and that's not even taking into account the screen, the SSD, the RAM, the speakers, or anything else. So you can see that's the problem. What happens then is when you're using the GPU under full load in a system like that, you can get up to the 65 watt or above on the CPU when you're not using the GPU. But when the GPU comes in, your CPU is only going to be getting like 35 watts or something like that. And when you're gaming, that's not really that big of a deal because the CPU generally isn't hit as hard when gaming as the GPU is. But if you're doing a production workflow like I do and rendering video, or doing a composition in Fusion, for example, then you often are hitting both the GPU and CPU fully, and that's not uncommon. So you'll be limiting your productivity. Like GPU, CPU, they should both be able to run at 100%, or at least the CPU like 70%. But no, you'll be running the CPU like here and the GPU like here. That's just not okay. I'm sorry this video is dragging on, but this is important to notice before you consider buying this. Even if you don't get the highest configuration, the higher end Intel Core i7 or Core i9, even if not the absolute highest, paired with the 3060, it's going to introduce this issue. And Dell is not doing anything about it. They are not addressing it. They are not telling you. Now let me get into why this should be illegal. Here's basically what's happening. Dell is selling you for a very premium price, over $3,000 US, a system with components where you are only getting the performance of a system of half that price, or in fact, where a system of half that price may even give you better performance. So they are knowingly charging you for components that you'll never be able to make use of. So please do not buy the high-end Dell XPS 17 this year. I'm hoping Dell will someday see this video and fix it. But until then, please don't buy it. The low end, like the one with integrated graphics or the 3050, those ones will be fine. They won't have any of these issues because those components aren't powerful enough to introduce this limit. But please don't buy a higher end Dell XPS 17. And I can't control what you do, but I do not like what Dell is doing here. I am personally a fan of Dell, in case you can't tell, and I really like this styling and everything. I think the XPS 70 is such a beautiful laptop, looks professional and everything. I'm really into that professional aesthetic on a laptop. I don't like the flashing RGB gaming laptops. I like something that looks professionally, it has the power. But I simply can't recommend the XPS 17 2021 model, and I don't even have to buy it and review it to tell you that. I just look at the specifications, and that's all I need. And again, let me make this clear, no hate on Dell as a corporation, but whoever is designing these products needs to be fired. This video may have seemed a little bit negative, and I'm sorry for that, but I had to warn you, so if you were considering that, I hope I just saved you $3,000. Anyway, if you enjoyed this video or if you found it helpful, please give this video a like. Please consider subscribing to this channel. And also leave your thoughts or comments down below. By the way, before I end this video, let me just make this statement that when I made my videos on the 2020 XPS 17's issues, a lot of people in the comments were saying they had the exact same issues. So I'm just not trying to boast, but I'm just trying to let you know that I do know what I'm talking about. But with that out of the way, again, thanks for watching, and until my next video, goodbye.